Let's Chat About It is a thought-provoking podcast where your hosts Lenora Sneva and Max Brown engage in meaningful conversations with everyday individuals about the pivotal moments when they realized they were different. Tune in every Friday for fresh, inspiring videos that delve into personal narratives exploring the diverse journeys of self-discovery. From childhood revelations to adulthood epiphanies, each episode is a celebration of the diverse paths that shape our identities. This is more than just a podcast. It's a platform inviting you to connect with others through storytelling.
All right, so welcome back to Let's Chat About It. I'm Lenora Sneva with Max Brown, and today we have Cirena Adams on today. She is, she calls me Auntie, and I've known her since she came out of the womb before she was a thought, and her mom is my best friend, Amy, and so she's a student at OSU, Oregon State University, so she'll be on to share her story. Can't wait to hear it. Max, before we bring her in, what's the question of the week?
I'm gonna take a very different approach today.
Okay.
And that's partly because we've already chatted about this, so I'm cheating. But we've been doing some coaching in our work with one Erin Jones. If you haven't heard of her, go take a look up.
Iconic.
And one of the things she's had us do, and I've done this a couple times with my some of my basketball teams, just to get them centered and chill for a minute. And I think it's a good one for us. But take a moment, breathe, and even if you're a listener at home, maybe take a moment to do this. Mm-hmm. What's something that you are grateful for right now?
That's a good question, Max.
No, it's because you told me to ask it like 2 minutes ago. So
no, I think I'm going to say that the thing that I probably always say, but I really do mean it. I'm grateful for my family, and I'm grateful for all the things that we get to go through, and all like the ups and downs of life. I think Serena's going to kind of hit on some of this, but just being grateful and hopeful and staying away from being anxious is really important to me, and to not worry and to give it to God. Like that's just something that I stay in that zone pretty well.
Well, good for you.
Yeah,
okay.
But it's not. I have some other stuff I got to work on, but it's easy for me to be like, I think I said this before, even in my when I share my story, like I like the glass is running over. Like I'm just always like, oh no, it's good.
Yeah.
So it's easy for me to remain hopeful, and I think that's important. We've talked again about even people, just being lonely, and especially during COVID, like we just kind of got in our little bubble, and we need each other. And so I would just encourage you all to think about other people and reach out to people that maybe you haven't talked to in a while, and just check in on people, and then hopefully they'll check in on you. And I think that's really important. And it's just part of, I think, who I am and what's really, people are important to me. So anyway, I'm on a tangent. Max.
No, you're good. Preach.
What about you? What's
what came to my mind as I was saying that, it's gonna sound maybe I'll go off on my tangent as well if I have the liberty to do so. So it's late here. We're recording. It's 9:50 p.m. We had baseball tonight for our boys, and they're playing the same team. And this is so stupid in comparison, but when I was growing up, like the baseball fields that I played on, like they are still physically there, but they're not baseball fields like at all. They're just totally overrun. They're just fields now. And the fields that I took my boys the other night was Monday night. We played, and the place we moved to has these really nice baseball fields with like they're lit. And so we stayed afterwards, and I just got to like practice baseball with my sons for 30 minutes, 45 minutes at 8 o'clock at night on a Monday night. And it was just like I was like, this is like our little team. This is my family. And we decided that we had to have our own cheer at the end of it. And so we are the Sweaty Boys, because it was 80 degrees at 8:30 at night. And I was just really thankful. I think it's kind of sort of as a juxtaposition to your comment, like moving across the country, I knew created some uncertainty and some risks for our family that are at times make me uneasy and can make me anxious. And I'm trying to be more mindful that I do believe that like, this is exactly where my family's supposed to be, that God's
Mhm.
put us in this position, and he's not gonna he's shown it multiple times in multiple ways, how I feel like just kind of an affirmation that we're doing exactly what we should be doing. Um, but it's also hard to see what the next year is gonna hold. Um, and
Mm.
and that's tough. So,
Mhm.
but just trusting that it's gonna be okay. So I'm
Yeah.
thankful that we are where we are, and it does, it's gonna put I've been sort of we've sort of intentionally put ourselves into a position to have to grow, and
Yeah,
so, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, just kinda scary.
Exactly.
I'm like, "I think I put the parachute in the bag, I don't know, but we're jumping."
Oh, we're jumping. Oh, we jumped. All right, let's bring Serena out right now so we can meet her.
Awesome, let's do this.
So, welcome back to Let's Chat About It. We have Serena Adams here. Serena, tell us about yourself.
Hello. Yeah, well, my name is Cirena. I am a college student at Oregon State University. Go Beavs. Yeah, I um, grew up playing soccer. I love soccer. I love being active. Love my family and friends. I love to stay busy. That's probably like my favorite thing to do. If I find myself not having much, you know, things to keep me distracted, I'm like, okay, what's going on? Yeah, so I love to stay busy, love to be outside when the weather permits. As we know, Oregon and Washington, that's not often. So um, I like to try to get outside when the weather's nice. But yeah, I spend most of my time doing things that college students do, school, work.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I was assuming
what
party,
do
Yeah,
college students
no,
school.
no,
No, come on,
there's
you
no
gotta clarify
partying
here.
over here. No. um, I am 21, so maybe a few drinks here and there, but
Okay.
no, it's mainly schoolwork. I also work with kids at an elementary school here.
Mm.
I love that. Every day is a different day. As we all know how kids are, I work with 5-year-olds and 5 through 9. So, oh, the best years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I know, I would take that over middle school kids. Middle school kids
yeah.
are the worst. Yeah.
Well, like I kind of get to like dabble in both because we have another building that has
Okay.
10 through 14. I want to say.
Ooh,
So they
okay.
they just like they're already kind of like they have phones over there. They're doing
Yeah.
their own things.
Oh,
So it's like
oh.
I like
Yeah.
don't have much to do and it's like, "Hey, do you want to play?" And they're like, "Why are you
No,
talking to me?" Yeah, exactly,
Oh, shoot.
So
no.
at least with the
Oh,
little
no.
you know, they have so much random stuff to say. It's great. Yeah. So,
Entertaining, I bet.
yeah, entertaining.
Oh,
It's so entertaining. It
oh,
is.
I will tell you this story. I will, sorry to interject, but speaking of
Okay.
5-year-olds, my daughter plays, she's 4. We're a 4 and 5-year-old soccer team. We were
Love
playing
that.
soccer the other night, and this little girl, probably 4 or 5 years old, on the other team was like, "Hey, you're bald." I was like,
Oh, yeah.
"Thanks."
Oh,
So you
No,
don't have
right?
any
It's
hair.
like,
I was like,
yeah,
"Thank
no,
you." Yeah, I know. I'm very
so
aware.
funny. Like they have no filter, just no
Oh
filter at
no.
all.
And then she's like, "All right, we're off. We're off." Here you
Yeah,
go.
no.
oh.
Every day I like have to prepare and like remind myself, I'm like, okay, don't take it personal. Like
Yeah.
why am I more intimidated to go work with the 5-year-olds than I
Oh.
am to like go to like a college party or something? I'm like, I came in the other day wearing a baseball cap, and literally one of my
They
girls
let
was
you know
like,
it.
"Miss Serena, why are you wearing a cap?" I was like, "Because I wanted to." She was like, "You look like a boy,"
Mm.
and then
Oh,
walked away.
okay.
Oh, okay, so I'm never wearing a hat again.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
remind me to
but
never wear.
that same kid probably came up like later in the day and gave you a hug and was like,
Yeah,
"I'm
no,
so thankful you're
literally.
here." Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. No, she did. Yeah, so it's like, no, it's good though. It's a fun time. And then yeah, what else? I also am in the Army Reserves. That's fun. I only like my only commitment with that is 1 week in a month and then 2 weeks in the summer. Um, yeah, whatever that looks like. It's like a mission. Normally it's like stateside. Sometimes we get to go cool places.
You were supposed to go to Australia, right?
Supposed to, yeah.
Yes.
No,
Ooh.
that was frustrating a little bit.
Yeah.
The first and second session they got to go, but I was in the third one,
Oh.
and then we had that crazy rainstorm in California. Do you guys remember that last summer?
Oh, is
Oh,
that
yeah, yeah.
August?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was August, and then we flew out of LA, so they were like, "Yeah, we're not." I guess the
Oh.
airport was shut down the day of. I was already all packed, and my math sergeant called me, and he was like, "You're not going." I was like, "Oh, awesome." Yeah, but we worked it out, so that was good. Yeah, no, I still got the mission that I went to. It was just in another place in Washington, so
Okay.
got to meet a lot of cool people.
Is that secret? Is that why you didn't tell us?
No, it's not secret.
Oh, I was like,
No.
is it Yakima? Because usually, like Yakima, you go in the field.
Oh no, Tacoma. Yeah, it was
Okay.
Tacoma.
Oh,
Yeah. No,
definitely not secret.
nothing crazy. Yeah, no. But it was a good time, and I got to go with people that weren't in my unit, so I
Okay.
got to meet a lot of cool new soldiers. So that was fun. I liked it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What are you studying at Oregon State? What are you
Yeah,
gonna? What's your plan?
am studying. My major is human development and
Mhm.
family sciences, and then I have a human service option, and I follow the pre-nursing track. So
Ooh,
Whoa.
yeah,
okay.
There's a lot
fun
going on there.
classes. Yeah, no, there is. It sounds like a lot. But it's a good time. No, I really enjoy my classes. My major allows me to have a little bit more flexibility with like all the science classes I need to take. Because I was a biohealth science major with pre-PA, but it was just too specific. And
Mm.
I was like starting to like ask myself, like, okay, wait, what if I don't want to be a PA? Because
Yeah.
I'm paying for all
Yeah.
these classes and
That's
I
a
don't want
lot
to
of
like,
school.
yeah, like at the end of all of this, it's like, what if I don't want to do that? So I switched majors like in the beginning when I started, and to just have more of a broad path. That way I just add on all of the science classes needed for nursing school or PA school
Mhm.
or whatever, instead of like taking like physics, because like it's just like if I was a
Yeah.
bio major, like I would just be taking all these extra classes that I didn't want to take. And so basically my major is like psych and soc combined.
Okay.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
that's it summed up.
Which is
Mhm.
kind of like, I think your mom, that was her major. I know was she social work and then psychology, right?
Yeah.
Minor, maybe.
No,
Yeah.
no, yeah, she was. So yeah,
Aw,
if I have like questions with assignments and stuff, she's the best. But
that's so cool.
yeah,
Phone a
People,
friend.
people don't
call her,
probably call. You
like
just
every week, probably like 3 times a week. She's so
so,
great. Yeah.
so 5 years from now, what do you want to be doing with
Yeah.
your mate? If you had to choose today.
Okay. Yeah. Realistically, 5 years from now, I will probably be a nurse.
Mhm.
So I have one more year here in my undergrad. And then I would graduate with a bachelor's in human development and family sciences. And then I'll go to an accelerated nursing program
Yeah.
to get my bachelor's in nursing. So
Mm.
that's like my 2 years from now, I'll have two bachelor's degrees. And so 5 years, I'll probably still be working as an RN. And then yeah, I will then, if I'm up for it, the plan right now is to apply to go get my master's in nursing and become a
Mhm.
nurse practitioner. So
Cool.
honestly, 5 years from now, I'll probably start to be applying, because I'll probably work like 3 years as an RN, and then the 2 or 3 years that I'm getting my master's in nursing, I'll still be working as an RN. So
Got it.
Jeez, you got this thing planned out.
I know. You got a good
I
counselor
was
and
like,
some
I
good
got it.
research.
I
What?
have to. Yeah.
But the other thing is, I'm curious though, is because you're 21,
Yeah.
you are going to graduate next year, but
Mhm.
you were already in the military as well. So did you
Right.
graduate high school with a 2-year degree, or are you just running
Yeah.
at 27 credits a quarter or something like
No,
that?
no. Yeah, I joined late, and then I was,
Okay.
like, pretty determined. I was like, "Oh, I still wanna graduate with my class." So, yeah, I graduated late, or not graduate late, joined
Oh,
Oregon State late. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Mm.
yeah, there we go. I graduated high school on time, just so everybody
Yeah.
knows. Yeah.
Just clear it
So
up.
yeah.
Record.
didn't graduate high school late. No, graduated on time and then joined Oregon State late. So I would have been graduating with the class of 26, but I was pretty determined to graduate with the class of 25. So I've been taking summer classes. I have
Gotcha.
not had a break from college. So
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, but honestly, it hasn't been terrible. And I average like 17 credits a quarter, which isn't terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's manageable.
summer classes were fun though. I remember at UW, it was like, because they'd have these accelerated ones, so
Yeah.
you could get it done in like 3 weeks.
Well,
Yeah.
like, so why isn't this offered throughout the year? Because I would definitely do this during the year. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Because you like, let's be real, those classes are a little bit like, this is a little easier than everything else too.
And there's like 10 students, you know.
Yeah.
oh yeah. And the professors are so laid back because they're on vacation and they're like, I don't really have to care to read this essay. Yeah.
I got stuff to do.
We all got stuff to do.
Honestly, yeah, no, literally. And I had stuff to do over the summer. So I'm like, I'm not trying to spend all my time with this summer school. So, but no, it's manageable. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. No, it's
All
good.
right, Cirena, tell us your story when you first knew you were different. What was happening for you?
Yeah, let's see. When I first knew I was different, it was definitely in basic training. So just to kind of give some context, I didn't grow up thinking like, oh, I want to join the military. That was not even a thought I had in mind ever. So I get that question a lot, like, oh, did you plan to do that? Like, no, it was very almost impulsive or spontaneous.
Mhm.
I grew up playing soccer, and for the longest, I was like, I want to play college soccer. That was my whole life. Like, soccer was my everything. That was like pretty much like where I found like purpose and stuff. Then COVID hit, and that wrecked everybody's plans. But for me, that like really made me sit with myself and kind of think about like what I want to do. Do I really want to play soccer? I was honestly kind of at the point where I was like getting a little bit drained. But I also I just didn't really have that much knowledge as far as like what it would look like to even start that process of like going to school to play. Like I didn't really know what the recruiting process looked like. There was girls on my team that, you know, had like a lot of connections, or like their parents were like UW soccer players, or you know, Wazoo soccer players. Like their parents already had so many connections within the like athletic realm, especially related to soccer. So I just didn't have that, and I just wasn't super knowledgeable. So I kind of started to think of other options for me. And then two, I kind of like I felt a little burnt out from it. So COVID let me like kind of find other things that I enjoy. Not that the military was one of them, but when I graduated high school, I was like, I really don't want my parents to have to help me with school. So if it wasn't going to be soccer, I was like, I'm either going to apply to every scholarship that I can, or the military. So I ended up going with the military because those applications were looking a little bit like I didn't want to.
It's hard though too. There's so
nobody
many.
got time for that.
Yeah, no, I'm like, it's summer. Like, it's like you're applying for all these, like, you have like a million essays to write, and it's like,
So what you're saying, Cirena, is if it was January, you wouldn't have gone to the military. You would have just been like, I got nothing else to do. The weather's crappy. I'm gonna do these applications.
Yeah, no, honestly,
Okay,
probably, yeah, no, really, yeah, because I graduated in June. I'm like, wait, okay, and then my mom's like, okay, well, you know, time to apply. And I applied to some scholarships. I got actually a really good scholarship to Oregon State, but it still just wasn't cutting it, you know? And then I was just like, okay. And then my friend started to talk with a recruiter in my hometown, and she got all this information about all the benefits that you get if you join the military. And my dad's prior service, so I didn't know too. He was active duty, so it's a little bit different. But I was like, okay, wait, how much money do you get? Yeah, like yeah, okay.
Is it completely covered or pretty much like 80% covered?
I would say like 80 to 90% covered.
Nice.
So it depends on your ASVAB score. And then what you get on your ASVAB score, like depends on like how many doors are open to you, like incentive wise, like how much money you get and stuff like that. So yeah, I luckily scored a pretty good ASVAB score, and yeah, that opened a lot of doors for me as far as military benefits go. And then yeah, I literally think I went and spoke with like a Army recruiter, like probably in maybe end of June, and then
Oh
I
wow.
was
After you
like,
graduated. Yeah.
like swore in July 12th is my
Yeah.
date. Yeah. So
They
I
move
was
quick.
like, it was super quick. Yeah, it was super quick. And then I didn't actually go to basic training until October. So
Okay.
yeah, long story short, yeah, when I got there is kind of when I was like, okay, wait, I like this low key. And that's kind of when I was like, maybe I am like a little different. Like I was like, okay, I thrived in the environment, and I've always grown up in an environment that challenged me, but I never really like stopped to reflect really, I guess, on myself as far as like things I could handle.
Mm-hmm.
You never really know like how far you can actually be pushed until like you go into a place like the military and you really have no choice. Like you go into it thinking like I could never do that, and then you go in there and you're like, wow, like I really did that. Like,
Yeah,
whoa,
that's cool.
that's kind of cool, yeah. So yeah, I loved basic training. Well, maybe not loved, but like I thrived in it.
Well, I
Yeah.
remember I was talking to your mom, and I remember her saying like, "Yeah, Serena kind of looks at it like she's in Survivor. So she kind of puts her Survivor hat on, and then it's
Like a
like,
game.
oh, like it's a
Yeah.
game, exactly."
No,
Yeah.
truly, yeah. No, I think I with growing up with soccer, like I love a competitive environment. I've always been one to love a challenge. I love I love competition. So I think that too is kind of what also fueled me, I guess. I wanted to I guess kind of outshine, especially the men there. Yeah, because
Absolutely.
the
Yes, queen.
organization, Army in general, is a male dominant organization.
Yes.
So I think in my company of like over 200 soldiers, there was 20 women. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And me being the youngest, like 18-year-olds are the youngest. And then there was women in my platoon and in my bay that were as old as like maybe 33. And
Mm-hmm.
it was so awesome, like being by these women that are here in this boot camp. Their moms,
Right.
they have kids. Like it was like just so awesome to see them go through all of that. And I'm like, okay, if they're doing it, I can do
Yeah.
it too. Like I better not be complaining because yeah. So yeah, but I really actually thrived in the environment. Yeah, I took every day as an opportunity to get better. And I really, really grew my relationship with Christ too in that. Like you're pretty much stripped of a lot of things connecting you to like the outside world. Like you can barely even have a watch. Like they just like
Yeah.
don't want like we can't have our phones. So 3 months I think I talked to my mom like maybe 4 times or something like that for like
Wow.
15 minutes or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, and so
So what
yeah.
would you do like if on like a typical day? What did a typical day look like for basic training?
Yeah, typical day. Well, you wake up around like 4, 3,
Oh,
3:30, 4 every day. Yeah, you're in bed by like 9,
yeah.
but there's this thing called fire guard, which is like basically just like night watch.
Mm-hmm.
And someone has to be up every hour of the night. So you're up. So like you have a fire guard duty or whatever where you get woken up in the middle of the night and then you have to clean the already clean bay. But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so there's that portion in the night. And a lot of times, if you're not like in regulation, like you have to be in your uniform. So like you have to get out of your pajamas or whatever, get
Yeah.
back in your uniform. And if you're not in your uniform, like they'll wake up the entire bay. So in the beginning of basic training, you go through a lot of that. They want to just break you down. They want
Right.
to, you know, basically like completely break you down. But as long as you kind of know what's going on, it's like it's not as intimidating as it may seem, or at least it wasn't for me.
Mhm.
And like I knew what they were trying to do. So I was like, I kind of like played their game with them, if that
Right.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did not
But
get voted off the island.
yeah, exactly.
You survived.
I indeed survived. I'm here today. Yeah. But yeah, you wake up around like 4. You have like 30 minutes to get ready, and then you're downstairs by like 5. And then we work out every morning except Sundays. So Sundays were the best days because you got to sleep until 6. So yeah. But so yeah, you wake up, you work out every morning. That looks like a 2 to 4 mile run, or like some type of like HIIT exercise that incorporates like weights. So that was what our mornings looked like. And then you would come back, eat breakfast around 8. After that, you have like 12 minutes to eat. The like dining facility is so hectic. You're like, they want you out of there. You're like face down, you can't look up, you can't talk, you can't
Oh, you're not
smile.
supposed to talk.
Oh, you
Okay.
can't talk. Yeah, if you talk, like, bye.
I
So
would
yeah, it's pretty
struggle.
strict. It's pretty strict. You
Oh,
have to
that's
like
not for you.
yeah, no, and I'm a chatter. I love to talk. I love to laugh. Like I love
You
a
made
good
it.
time. And I'm like, oh, so you guys just don't like to have fun here. But yeah, so it was challenging. That was challenging for me. And like I find a lot of things funny. So like
Oh gosh.
it was hard
Oh,
for me
no.
not to give a little smirk or something. Like I was like, oh, biting my teeth and biting my lips closed half the time because I was like, oh no, I can't be laughing. So yeah, and then after breakfast, we would it would look like a lot of different things depending on the day. Some type of training, whether be like what is it called? Well, towards the middle of basic training is when like we started training with our weapons. So we do a lot of training with that. So going to the range, and then around 12 every day we had lunch, and then you
And
go
then
back
again, 12 minutes, no talking.
again, same thing, no fun. Yeah. Then you're out of there, and then we have dinner around 4 to 5, and then that's it. You're not allowed
Do you
any
have free
snacks.
time?
No,
time?
well, kind of free time. If you're upstairs in your bay, which is just like the big sleeping area, you can have free time to like work out, or
Oh,
because there's like
God.
little
Clean your
gyms.
gun,
I
clean
know,
your
I'm like,
clean your
Clean your gun.
boots, but don't talk.
no, literally. So yeah, we could talk, we could chat, grow connections and friendships with your people there.
That's cool.
Yeah, so there was like chillax time. Yeah, definitely.
Could you play games? Like, were there card games? Could you board games after?
no games,
No,
no nothing.
no.
Yeah, so like it's like seriously all you have to do is like talk. And like
Just talk.
some girls had books, and I was like, oh, I wish
Oh.
I would have known to bring a book. Journal, like I literally journaled, wrote about
Mhm.
who knows what. You
Yeah.
write letters. I spent a lot of my time just like writing letters
Yeah.
that I could send back home.
Yeah.
And
I never got
staring
a
at
letter,
the wall.
but that's okay.
Literally oh, you still haven't gotten it? No.
No.
I swear it's on the way. No.
You must have been while you're moving, Lenora. It must have been while you
Right.
were moving.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it's
yeah. I guess it got lost in the mail. That was not me. I definitely sent it. Yeah, so no, yeah. It was you found things to make it fun, and really
Yeah.
just embracing the suck with people
Mhm.
like made you so close, because you
Yeah.
had nothing to do. Like their favorite thing to say is just like watch the paint dry,
Oh
because
gosh.
truly
That's the most
it
entertaining
was
thing you
just
could do.
brutal. Yeah, it was brutal. But
Do you still talk to those people now? I mean, I know you're not like they're probably not all at Fort Lewis or whatever,
yeah,
but
yeah, no. I talk to some. We have like a group chat, but we don't really talk regularly.
yeah,
But we try to stay connected. Yeah,
that's cool.
we try our best to stay connected.
Where did you have your basic training?
South Carolina. Yeah, I had my
Okay.
basic training South Carolina, and then I was 2 months or 3 months in Virginia for
Mhm.
AT, which is just like military school. that's what you have to go to after you graduate
Gotcha.
basic training. Yeah, and that was
And then
also
and you're not going to go active duty, or not
mm-mm,
intending to? Okay.
mm-mm. No,
Okay.
yeah. My contract is 6 years, so
Okay.
perfect because it aligns up pretty much exactly with the period of time I'll be in school. So, yeah. Well,
Awesome.
I plan on doing just one contract.
Yeah.
Who knows
Yeah.
if it will change,
Yeah.
but
Uh-oh, look at her.
Uh-oh. She liked the
That's what they
challenge.
always
Well,
say.
I'm curious, Serena, you mentioned that, like, one of the things that was really amazing to you was kind of you had some maybe perceived limits and the ability to push through and be like, oh wow, I did that. What, like, when you reflect, what are some of those things that you were like, wow, I did that?
yeah, that's a good question. We have these things called ruck marches.
Hmm.
They're like just basically like long hikes or like walks or
Mm.
whatever with like 40 pounds on your back in the big like rucksack.
Yep.
Um, yeah, so at the end of basic training, there's like a one called the Forge. It's like the most intense one. It's like you walk like 40 miles over the
Oh,
duration of like 3 days. Yeah. And like you don't get a lot of sleep. You get like 3 hours of sleep a night. Like it's pretty brutal. But um I they do this thing. I don't even know really how to explain it, but basically throughout the Forge is like some pretty intense thing that they're basically trying to mimic what it would be like in combat.
yeah.
So you're walking these ruck marches with your weapons. You're carrying like all these like big crazy objects or whatever. Like we had like a huge, basically huge box that I don't even know. It was like like half the size of like a car, and like the height of a car. So this pretty heavy box we had. Like a bunch of like dummy bodies that we had to carry, like ammo cans, all this stuff to like simulate combat. But there was this one portion throughout the Forge that like only men throughout my whole company were carrying those big boxes or whatever. For one reason, they were all the same height, so it was like kind of
Easy.
hard for like, yeah, it was
The
easier.
angles. Yeah.
Also because none of the women could pick it up because it was super heavy. So we had gotten to this place throughout our ruck that one of the guys had fallen off. Like he was like, I can't carry it anymore. And my drill sergeant was like, someone needs to get over here now.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
that was a lot nicer than how he said it. But
Yeah, I'm guessing, and probably with less swear words.
yeah,
But
yeah, literally. But I was at the front because I was a platoon guide at that time, which is just like I was the leader of my
Mhm.
platoon, and he was basically yelling just at the men in the group. But he's going to pick it up with the three of them. He was on one corner, and then two other male soldiers in my platoon were on the other corners. And I was like, okay, let's do this. I, um, hang my weapon around me, and then I go into the corner, and I'm like, okay, I hope I can pick this up. But I was like, okay,
Okay.
picked it up, threw it on my shoulder, and he was like, who's on the corner? And then I was like, me, drill sergeant. And he was like, Adams, is that you? And then I was like,
was he that nice? Was he that nice?
he was actually, he was proud
He
of
was
me.
proud of you.
No, he was. And he was like, no way. And then he was yelled, and he was just like, that's awesome. And I walked with it for miles on my neck was hurting.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I was like so determined.
Yeah.
But I
Good.
was like, this is kind of awesome. Like I was proud of
Yeah.
Yeah.
myself to keep
Yeah.
up with them, and like prove like, I deserve to be here.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm a woman, and yeah, I'm only 18 years old, but I deserve to be here and serve, just as much as anybody else does. And I think that was kind of like one of my proving points. So that was super
Mhm.
awesome. And I felt proud of myself that I could keep up with them. But yeah, it was kind of fun.
Well,
It
that's
was
awesome.
it was good.
It's an
That's
awesome
so
story.
cool.
Thank you. Thank
Serena,
you.
what would you say to, I know you're 21, so this is only 3 years ago, but what would you
Yeah.
say to your 18-year-old self, like as you maybe got ready to go, or in the midst of when it was really
And it
hard?
can't be bring a book. Okay, it has to be
Yeah,
something beyond that.
literally. Well, one thing that I love to say to myself is let go and let God. that is like a little phrase that I have been trying to get in the habit more now of saying. But we spoke like before we started recording, is just like I love to kind of like control everything. And like you guys were saying, like, wow, you have a good idea of your plans, you
Yeah.
know. And I think when I was 18, I was so anxious about like making sure everything was in order, and like, okay, what if it doesn't work out? Like, what if I don't graduate basic training on time? Like, what if I fail? Like, I'm here now, and I'm don't regret a single thing I did. And I just wish I would have like could tell myself, like, just breathe and give it to God, girl,
Yeah.
because he's got a plan for you. I think that's just such a good thing to remind yourself. And for me, with my faith, is that I'm working on that, because truly he's got everything planned out for me. I really don't need to be stressing about anything.
That's right. Do not worry.
So, yeah, that's what I would tell her, because she was an anxious girl for sure.
Anxious little one, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
mean, and for real though, like thinking back to when you were 17, 18 years old and the way the world was at that time,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
it's true.
everybody was a little bit of a hot mess.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like I went into basic training with masks. Like we
Oh, what year was that? What year was that?
2021.
2021, yeah. So
And
it
the
just
mask mandate got lifted while I was in training. So it was like crazy,
wow.
because I was like, everybody was like this, and then, you know, I'm like,
Oh, that's what you look like.
oh,
Oh,
yeah,
well, you
no,
probably saw them when they're eating, right?
yeah,
Can't
yeah,
talk.
true. I did see some of them, yeah, and talked with her eyes, but yeah. So it was actually so nice, because doing all those workouts with the mask on, I was like, okay, I'm about to pass out.
Oh
But
my goodness.
yeah, that's a good point to make. Is like, yeah, that was definitely a really anxious time.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
it made sense. But I think for
Yeah.
anyone going into college, it's super important just to like realize, like, you don't need to have it all figured out right now. You really don't. It helps to have an idea for sure, but you don't need to have it figured out. There's so much time. And even now, you know, going in, and it has worked out for me, but you know, being determined to graduate with my class, like, even like telling myself, like, if you're in college for 5 years, girl, that's okay. Like,
yeah, exactly.
putting things in perspective truly has helped me so much, because even going in to basic training, I of course was like, I'm gonna miss so much. Like, this is, you know, like everybody else my age is starting their fall term, and I'm over here joining the military. Like, I'm gonna miss out on this party. I'm gonna miss out, you know, on that hangout session. Like, oh my gosh, 6 months, I'm gonna miss out on everything. When I'm like, you know, you didn't miss out on a single thing.
No,
Yeah.
you didn't.
So at that time, when you've only lived through, like, and I know I'm only still 21, but you know, going through middle school, high school, you think like your perspective is so narrow. So truly being in basic training really helped me broaden my perspective, and like have a better understanding of time, and just realizing, like, wow, this is actually such a small portion of my life. If you know, compare it to how long I could even live, and just like, you know, just life in general. So yeah.
Man,
Cirena, thank you so much.
thank you.
Oh,
Thank you guys for
wow.
having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. This has been great.
Oh, this is
Oh,
great for me.
I'm waiting for Laura to say, and I remember you when you were this big.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
out of the womb.
Yep.
That's right. All right,
Oh.
Cirena, you take care. Good to see
Oh,
you.
Good to see you,
good
Cirena.
to see you. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, well, that was Cirena Adams. Oh my goodness. What a great story.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so inspired.
Yeah.
Every young child to see
Yeah.
this.
Let's go like run over walls and climb up stuff, and
Yeah.
go do a Survivor
I don't know
episode.
if I could have did that.
No.
I feel like,
No. It
I'll
was
go home.
Yeah, 4 a.m. that's not a time, man.
Wow.
I'm not ready for
Yeah.
that.
And I didn't even ask about the food. You know it was nasty. So
Yeah, that's why they were like, yeah, do it in 10
exactly.
minutes.
Don't
even think
linger
about
on this one.
Don't-
Just eat it.
You don't savor it. There's nothing to
Just
savor.
Put it down. Put it down. Let's go.
Oh yeah, no, that was a great story. It's just That's a really encouraging. Oh, wow, I'm gonna sound really old, but I can't remember if we were recording this part or not. But we were talking with her at one point about some of the work that she does outside of college and working with younger students, and a lot of them are just buried in their phones, and it is
Mm.
astonishing, like how much technology is overtaking. Wow, I'm so old. Oh my
No,
gosh.
I know. I think the same thing. I
And,
know.
but, like and I do, but there's I mean, and there's still some like, there's plenty of great kids out there, but it is really I don't know, there's something really
But don't you
encouraging.
think though that
She
like
was not a 20 I was not talking to a 21-year-old.
no, she's very mature. She's been through.
She's yeah, and so I don't know, it was just really it was an inspiring story, and I think
Yeah.
also just cool. Yeah, just encouraging,
It
like,
was super encouraging.
not
Just
to
her
th hey,
hope. I just
6 months isn't gonna ruin your life.
it's
Like,
not. It's just a little
it's
blink
gonna
in
yeah,
the whole sphere of things, especially when
yeah.
women we live longer anyway. So she, we got 85, 90.
Max, you're gonna be dead soon, so
Hey, I didn't say it. You did.
that's basically
Um,
what you said.
no, I didn't. But I also think like I feel like people in the 50s said the same thing, like TV is gonna
Oh,
ruin the young generation, like
every generation says it about the
right,
next
every
generation,
piece of
and
technology
we're
that's
okay.
happened over the years,
Yeah,
like we're gonna be the ruined generation. That one's gonna be,
yeah.
but I really think they're no,
Social media, AI, you name it,
yeah,
something's
no,
gonna
I
ruin my
know. I
kids,
just
but
think
they're gonna
it's
be
all
alright.
about balance. It's all about
Yeah,
balance, people.
yep,
So
yeah,
but that
absolutely,
was a great story. It was so nice to
absolutely.
hear all the things that she's done and just her hope, um, and just her joy and her maturity.
Yeah,
Awesome. Very proud of her.
awesome. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see all y'all next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
The Let's Chat About It video podcast, produced and edited by Lenora Sneva, invites listeners to share their stories. To participate, email letschatnow1010@gmail. New episodes featuring people like you and me are released every Friday. Thank you for listening and being a part of a community who cares. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. Thanks for listening!